Be nice now.
Yeah, so you're going to be in section A, B, C, D, E, F, and then E1 and E2. You're going to be in charge of that. Alan, you'll take I, J, G, H, K, and L. Leah, you can take this area right here, and Christy, you can take care of this area. Obviously that's not in stone. But I've never had a show before where I haven't had most all of it constructed before I've actually moved into the exhibition space. So there's some unknowns out there that I'm sure I'm going to butt up against that I think are going to be both challenging and really exciting. A project of this scale wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for the help that the 4 interns have given and people making work with me, and they've been really great to work with. One of the most exciting things about this show for me is how I can take my established practice and mesh that with the challenges of the space. So the space has a unique history. It's really visually commanding. So ignoring all those things wasn't really an option for me when I set out with this project. So I wanted to find a way to kind of mesh all of these things together and create a unique experience that not only challenged my working process, but also would give a unique experience to someone that would come in. The entire show is going to be just made of one large site-specific installation. So it's going to take up all 12,000 square feet of the soap factory and be pretty much just one piece. So this by far is going to be the biggest thing that I've ever done. It's been about 2.5 years in the making and planning. For about the last year, I've done this pretty much just solely. So it's been, if you look down here, it's been just, and I have 4 or 5 sketchbooks like this where it's just page after page after page of different plans and ideas and just thinking about, what could be different possibilities. The airplane is going to emulate the experience of being in an actual airplane. So I've done some initial designs and kind of drawings for it and shot video for it, but Jens is going to be working on doing the setup for the AV and the projection and kind of helping stage the entire area.
What we're going to do is we're going to project an image onto the screen of the clouds, but the problem is that it's too close to the wall, so the projected image won't cover all the windows. So what I think we're going to do is we're going to mount a projector there, and then a mirror there, and then the image that's reflected back onto the screen. But 15 feet was not enough of a splash range, and so we're going to turn 15 feet into 30 feet.
We busted through the wall over here yesterday with a sledgehammer, mainly because there's going to be stuff in front of it. So like a lot of stuff with the exhibition, we're trying to think about what order is the best to do certain things in. There's going to be a platform and a cinder block wall and a staircase and a kind of a snow globe-ish type thing on top. So we have to take care of the things that'll be in back first. What's going to be back here are going to be some sort of burial chamber, some sort of kind of treasure trove, some sort of cache of stuff that was left by somebody. Who that somebody is will kind of take shape, I think, in the next week or so.
This is going to be the Lazy Boy Lazy Planetarium, and so it's going to be all dark, and it's going to be a gigantic curtain across, and limited space, and there'll be a curved wall with the stars in it, and the stars will be like Christmas lights, so they'll be like poking through the holes of the constellation patterns.
sort of like a Harlequin romance book that you used to be able to get at grocery stores or end caps at Kmart and places like that, all had basically the same cover. This will look like the front of an activated book. So there's going to be this area, there's going to be somebody here for the opening who's going to be basically playing the part of Fabio, who will be interacting with people as they come through.
Taking my babies that I so lovingly collected and putting them through the bandsaw. So we want to make it look like they're continuous rows, even though there's supports in the middle. So these false fronts of these National Geographics will fill in the little gaps.
Besides all the different interlocking vignettes that we're going to have in the show, it's going to be kind of paced and, I guess, separated with kind of large wall drawings that are indicative of my established drawing practice, but are going to be comprised of a lot of mass-produced things as a nod to the soap factory's mechanized past. A lot of planning. The ideas have changed an awful lot. I've come up with a lot more things than I will actually probably use for the exhibition, and then edited down the different vignettes that I'm going to be using. Excited because the space is so huge, it afforded certain opportunities in my practice that maybe I didn't have the option to do before.
But so it's got these bumps, so go from the highest point of the bump.
Going down to the bumper, I'm going to say 66 inches.
Here?
You got it, Ed?
Yeah.
That's 68 inches exactly.
The bumper is.
Yeah.
God damn.
How wide is this? 68, wasn't it? But we gain what, an inch if these can't go any wider, can they?
No. We can pull them, it's fine.
And that's all we have to do? Just this one?
Yeah, we're good. We just set it aside.
Set it out here? You think, or?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, hoss.
Alright.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I think we'll be okay. We'll do this. Crank the front end back the way we talked about a little more. The first way, yep, a little more. Okay, that's good. Now you can straighten out. You're looking great. So, yep, now straighten it out. There it is, that's it. That is it. The bumper's touching, but it's fine. Keep coming.
How's the height?
Hold on. Does this thing get taller at any point? No, it's fine. You're good. Sure. Just pull up. Just gently pull. There you go. Just a tad there. Now straighten it out. Right there. That's it.
Yes. Oh, it feels so good.
Yeah. Wow, this really makes this space tight.
Yeah, I want to talk about that bridge.
Okay, that's probably good for now.
This is the sweetest thing I've seen in a while. Designated
The show's title, Why We Do This, comes from some themes that I've been working with, specifically in making work here for the soap factory. The soap factory was an actual soap factory at one time. Most recently, before it actually became a gallery space, it was used for making soap. So Why We Do This, the title comes from, in this space and factory, for everybody that's had kind of a difficult job or a job that maybe they didn't enjoy as much, why we do those sort of things, like why you work. And the saying goes, you work for the weekends, I guess, in a certain sense. So we do those jobs so that we can do the other things that make life worth living, I guess. On the opening day, different vignettes will be activated with somebody in there actually playing a part in that installation or in that section of the installation to help activate that a little bit more. You see the tunnel and you hear like the encouraging sounds and those dudes are like, yeah! You're like, hell yeah! And you want to like slap some hands and run out and bust out into the field. Got these passes from the University of Minnesota for the TCF Bank Stadium for opening day to film for the Hall of High Fives. And we already took a test shot right there where you can see we set up a camera and did a film loop of the players' tunnel where all the players run out of. So what we're going to do is go back on game day and take basically the same shot. We measured, the inches of the tripod and how far back was from the opening, and we're going to reestablish that shot with referees in the field and fans in the stand, so it looks like an active game day, so you're about to charge out on opening day. But the thing is, when you bust out in the field, like, okay, well, that's going to be a completely different space. One of the comments that I had heard quite a bit with the work that I've made in the past was that people wanted to interact with it. Like, they wanted to pick things up, or they wanted to go and like sit in certain areas and kind of immerse themselves. And that's one thing that I sort of, in my sketchbook from the early on, started thinking of people maybe less as viewers, but a little bit more as participants. So people will be able to come in and then walk into these large scenes.
See if I can find my old speakers.
Thank God for miles.
Nature god Hercules, the strong man. His left hand points true.
A lot of the themes centering around the show are going to be these series of interlocking vignettes that show kind of wide range, or what I like to think of as like a core sample of maybe an upper Midwest mentality of things that we would rather be doing, from outdoor activities to indoor things or puzzles or kind of collective fictions that we all take part in. In my previous drawings or my previous installations, if I depicted a living room, or I depicted, say, a thrift shop, or like a National Geographic reading room, but now people are going to be able to go in and interact with a lot of these different vignettes. So it's going to be kind of stepping in and out of this collective past.
What? Oh, Jay, sorry.
There's going to be a cinder block wall with sledges and the kind of stuff that you see over here as well, to make it look like somebody had just discovered this and you're discovering somebody's time away.
Especially just because it's like
job, that's fine. I respect that.
Hello, trying to get in the disco. Hello, trying to get in the disco.
I come into Johnny Lunchbox. What's your slogan?
It's not junk till we say it is.
Pulling things from, I guess, our collective cultural past, sort of cast-offs like end tables and lamps, and things that I find in alleys or thrift shops. They were things that were probably made in a place like here, in a factory. They're not the most glamorous objects. They're sort of these unsung heroes that help facilitate the things that we do on a daily basis. The word nostalgia gets thrown around a bit when people are talking about my work, but nostalgia can be a really wonderful thing because it not only makes us think of a different time, but it helps position us in time. It helps understand where we exist, how far we exist away from this thing. So the things that we bring with us, the things that we think would be important through our daily existence, fill in the gaps of our collective past because everybody has a different association. It'll change between person to person, it'll change between culture to culture, it'll change between time period and time period. Everybody that comes to the show will have a different experience. They'll have a different read on specific pieces in there. Some of the scenes will be a bit more specific, but I think people will remember things a little bit differently, and I'm really excited where those kind of overlaps of meaning and those overlaps of content come, depending on what people individually bring to the project.